Yet again, thank you very much for joining us on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport this afternoon. So we'll run through the two lineups. We're going to be joined shortly by Whitehaven Hall of Famer David Seeds, and we'll get his impressions on what he expects from this Newcastle side, this new look Newcastle side this season, and what he expects from this afternoon's contest. We're going to hear from Anthony Murray as well, and we're also going to hear what happened for Whitehaven last time out 8 days ago at the Steel City Stadium. But firstly, we'll run through your two lineups. Whitehaven lineup with Cole Walker-Taylor in at fullback, on the wings Dave Eggleston and Mitchell Todd. No Jordan Burns, the Whitehaven captain this afternoon. He's struggling with a knee issue, so Ben Pearce replaces him in the centre alongside Ethan Bickerdike in the centres. It's a half-back partnership of Kieran Walker and Joe Lowe. Starting props, Jake Pearce and Brett Bailey. Ellison Holgate in at hooker. Back rowers of Connor Holliday and Ellis Nixon. Jack Kellett in at loose forward. On the interchange bench, Mark Shackley, Brad Brennan, Jordan Thompson and Liam Williamson. The 18th man for Whitehaven this afternoon is Lewis Brown. If needed, you may have noticed just a new name at the end there. Liam Williamson, a hooker, comes in from the Seaton Rangers. Neil Fraser, the assistant coaches club, been in Whitehaven right throughout pre-season, and has earned himself a contract and will be with Whitehaven for the 2026 campaign. For the Thunder, they have Jordan Lipp in at fullback, Andy Jacassi and Brad Ward on the wings, Jack Smith and Aidan McGowan in the centres. It's a half-back partnership of Cody Hunter and Will Roberts. Starting props, Ryan Jackson and Brendan Santee. Taylor Pemberton in a hooker. Second rows are Matthew Foster and Noah Whittingham, with Harvey Reynolds in at loose forward. On the interchange bench, Matthew Rostan, Akuma Tsai, Leo Tennyson and Tyler Walton, the Onan surviving member of last year's squad for the Thunder. The 18th man, if needed for the Thunder this afternoon, is Jack Brown.
To any league games in 2 seasons, but now 1 in 1, so Whitehaven are in for a very, very tough game today.
Game is underway. Jake Pearce is the man to fetch the ball forward from kick-off, attacking the railway end in the first half of Whitehaven. Pearce taken down 12-13 metres away from his own line. Struggled to get up and play that ball there as Jake Pearce, and he's actually lost it. He's struggled there as the prop forward. And we've got a stoppage in play already. We're 21 seconds in, and that didn't look good for Jake Pearce at all.
No, it didn't, Jordan. That's it's somebody we need on this field today. If Whitehaven to get 2 points here, but we need. He's indicating a head injury here, so hopefully that's not too bad. But that's a knock on. I think he's devised it as a knock on there.
Yeah, he's given knock on.
Yeah. So that's something Whitehaven really didn't want straight off the kick-off. So
to HIA, so Jordan Thompson, who was started from the bench this afternoon, a rare foray from the bench for Jordan Thompson. Normally, of course, see him in the starting pack, but yeah, it didn't look good for Jake Pearce at all. Looks like just indicating he was caught on the back of his neck. So the game is underway, and it's the prop forward Ryan Jackson. They look to take the ball forward, trying to get his arm free there was Jackson, but taken down by Jordan Thompson. So the 9 metres out of the Thunder. Pemberton will go right into the hands then of Sandy, but that is forward from Taylor Pemberton, the popular side. Shouted that one on the far side, so we're 40 seconds in, an error apiece from either side, and Whitehaven's going to have the ball back pretty much, apart from being a little bit further over in towards the middle, pretty much where they started, David Tate.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Jordan, 2 errors in 40 seconds, so Graham Steadman and Anthony Murray won't be happy with them.
They certainly won't be. Ball comes left from the base of the scrum, and Ethan Bickerdike's had to dive for it. Really scrappy start to the game, just into the second minute, and that's almost 3 errors to get it right up. Mitchell Todd's going to try and take the ball forward for Whitehaven here, and he's going to be taken down 12-13 metres away from his own line, maybe 10-12 metres in from the popular side touchline, as Ellis Nixon is now the man to fetch it forward. He'll play the ball 20 metres out into the hands of Jack Kellett, and a little nearly fumble there from Jack Kellett as well. It's looking rather sticky and slippy out there, especially on top. Holgate in at dummy half, comes into the hands of Brett Bailey, and Bailey's met by 4 Newcastle Thunder defenders. 32 metres away, comes into the hands now with Joe Lowe. Lowe gets the kick away. It's a spiral kick, and it's going to be Jordan Lipp, the fullback, underneath that one. Collects it 27 metres away from his own line. It's brought it forward to be we've been 7-8 metres away from the halfway line, just under 2 minutes gone.
Yeah, not the best kick in the world, but it's out there. It's a defensive set now for Whitehaven. But one thing we're going to need today, and one thing Whitehaven really need is field possession and some territory today.
Reynolds nearly lost that one in at loose forward this afternoon, Harvey Reynolds, but he did put Connor Holliday on his backside in the meantime. Plays it 40 metres away from the Haven line, and Brendan Santee, former Keighley and York Knight, will play this ball now 32 metres out. Goes right. Back inside then to Jackson. Ryan Jackson, great shot. You heard the shout of shot behind us. I think that coming from Brett Bailey it was. It's the 5 and last, going to go right into the hands of Jackson, looking to put the crossfield kick in. And Cole Walker-Taylor's just had to dive on it. Ellison Holgate was trying to get there, but sort of running to the back of our man in the middle this afternoon, Denton Arnold. And it is a goal line dropout. Haven looking scrappy in the opening stages season.
Yeah, both looking scrappy in their attacking sets, but Newcastle have finished that set really, really good there. That looked like a set move. It's been a kick by the Newcastle number 7, and they knew it was coming, but good positioning from Cole Taylor.
Cole Walker-Taylor collected it and then put in the goal line dropout, but didn't make too many metres, only 30 metres. Most of that come along the floor. So Newcastle first tackle, 20 metres out into the hands now with Santee. He just sort of slips 18, 19 metres out here is Brendan Santee, Italian international, plays the ball, comes in the hands now with Cody Hunter, and he's trying to spin out the tackle there. Is Cody Hunter. That just sort of opened up for him. It wasn't what he was wanting to do, but he has been brought down 6 metres out, comes back towards the middle now with Santee. Santee will then find the prop forward Ryan Jackson. Jackson's just going to be taken down, is he? He's not. He's got his arm free there. Ellis Nixon's complaining about that one, and it just into the 4th minute here at the recreation ground. It's the visitors looking to get their first ever victory at the recreation ground. It's Ryan Jackson, and it is Haven 0, Thunder 4.
Yeah, not the best start by Whitehaven there. You know, they give them an error there. They give them a simple gift in a knock on first of all. Then the Newcastle have worked for the second set that they've gone, which is a dropout, and it's just a bit relentless at the minute for Whitehaven. I haven't looked right. Well, I've looked right once, to be honest. I think Newcastle have had one play the ball in their own half, so it's all been the territory has been for Newcastle in Whitehaven's half, and predominantly in the 15 metres off Whitehaven's try line. So some tough questions being asked on that defence, and unfortunately Whitehaven haven't been able to answer that one. But just a simple run over.
And that's something Anthony Murray won't like, is this being happy with his side sort of goal line defence in the previous 2 games against the Sheffield Eagles, despite defeat against Craig Lingard's side. But it will be Jack Smith here will have an opportunity to look to tag the extras on 10 metres out, just to the right of the post. Comes at it now and tags over the extras. Does the centre, means now it's Haven 0, Thunder 6. And if you were the coach David Seeds, as you have of course previously, what would the early message you'd be getting out there if you were Anthony Murray?
Well, I think we've just got to settle down. You know, we base a lot of our good points, certainly last year and certainly the first 2 games of the season, on our defence. We have a strong defence, certainly on our try line. So, you know, something's just going to miss there. That could simply be just a little bit of attitude from the players. So, you know, the message the message Gus has got to take on there is basically wake up and get into this game. You know, that's what we need right now.
Walker-Taylor with the kick-off. Whitehaven looking to be penalised for offside there. Santee will be the man to fetch it forward, the prop forward, and he's been met there. To be fair, Whitehaven they've met him up on the 10 metre line, so good chase from the kick-off there from Whitehaven. It needs to continue. Another good shot on there as well is Ellis Nixon takes down the Thunder man. It is Ryan Jackson, the try scorer, that was taken down. Look to continue to fetch it forward now, still looking to try and recognise a lot of these faces in the Thunder side. It's Harvey Reynolds, the man that will play the ball here. Coming to the hands now with Cody Hunter. Hunter will pop it up. Whittingham, the man to take it. 33 metres away from his own line now. Pemberton's in there at dummy half. Then into the hands now of Jack Smith. And Smith then will be taken down. 5 and last. 8 short of halfway. Goes right into the hands then of Roberts, and Roberts gets the kick in. It'll be allowed to bounce, but bounces kindly in the soft surface here at the recreation ground, and Mitchell Todd's the man to collect it. He's brought it forward to 13 metres away from his own line and put down onto his back is the former Lauker man.
Yeah, just a standard set there by Newcastle. Gets them some good field possession and hope for a good defensive set here to see if Whitehaven can get through this set of 6.
Ethan Bickerdike trying to bring it down that left hand side now. 1 or 2 calling for the potential high tackle there on Ethan Bickerdike as he was slipping into the tackle, but Jordan Thompson's now going to try and take Whitehaven forward here, finds his front as Thompson plays it 5 short of halfway, gets a quick play of the ball in there as well as Edison Holgate trying to scoot with no markers in there, but they've recovered well of Newcastle, but he's still made it to just short of the Thunder 40 on what is the 5 and last. Kieran Walker will get the kick in, but it is collected by Jordan Lip 10 metres away from his own line as Brad Ward is coming off the wing to try and take his side forward, and he's got past the first contact there as Ward, then being brought down 22 metres away from his own line.
Yeah, a couple of things there then. Jordan Thompson, if we're going to give Newcastle any worries today, then one of them's got to be things like that Thompson's doing. He's sticking his head through that and getting a good quick play of the ball. That's something we need against this versatile Newcastle pack.
Initially thought the penalty was going to be given for the second effort, but then referee Denton Arnold give it for a high tackle. Collected by Rob Scott, actually, match official around these parts. McGowan takes a tap, touching a couple of pairs of hands then before going into the hands then of Harvey Reynolds. Just over halfway now are the Thunder. They pick him up, and that immediately means you get the held call. Pemberton goes right into the hands of Santi. Santi then goes a couple of pairs of hands. Is it? No, it actually stays into the hands of Will Robertson. Does well there, does Holgate. Looks to go himself there, does Pemberton. Dived under the defender, trying to get round Cole Walker-Taylor. He got the ball away into the hands of Reynolds and Whitehaven. 6s and 7s here. The defensive line's going to have to get reset. They've done well to try and put the man to the ground. 10 metres out to the left-hand side of the post. To the middle now with Santi. Couple of pairs of hands before finding the fullback Jordan Lip. They're trying to get them on the edges now, are the Thunder, but it's Jack Smith that's taken down. Still a couple of tackles left as Ellis Nixon and Kieran Walker, the Satan combination on that far right hand side. Looking to bring it back in the middle now with Santi, potentially forward as we look at him here, but Santi's put down onto his back 2 or 3 metres. Just short of 10 minutes gone here at the recreation ground. It's the 5 and last, comes left into the hands of Roberts. Little fumble but keeps hold of it, then comes out into his left hand side corner. Brad Ward dives in the left-hand side corner. The Whitehaven defence tried to recover. Who was there? Alison Holgate isn't happy with something. Ben Pearcey was there. Cole Walker-Taylor was there, trying to argue his case. Is Alison Holgate. I've still never seen a referee change his mind yet, and I won't do once again this afternoon. Just into the 10th minute here at the recreation ground. The Thunder strike for their second of the afternoon. It's Brad Ward in this left-hand side corner. It's Haven 0, Thunder 10.
Yeah, some good rugby there by Newcastle. All started by Pemberton in the middle there, throwing a big dummy in the middle of the field there. Marcus taking that dummy and getting them a little bit of yardage on the front foot there. On the back of that, they've went right, and the left-hand side, Haven defence have sorted that. But then when they've come right with a little bit of shape and a little bit of ball movement, then the right-hand side Haven defence have struggled there, and that's something I didn't get a chance to touch on before commentary, Jordan, is that, you know, that's usually Jordan Burns there. That's your skipper, that's your experience, certainly in that right centre there, which he defends really well, does Jordan, and there's a lot of say in this team. But unfortunately, Jordan's not playing, and young Ben Pearce it's a big ask for that lad, a big ask. And you telling me beforehand it was a late change, so probably Ben hasn't had a lot of training in that centre. I think he's a second row from NCM, so so it's a big ask for Ben there. So that right hand side, will get a lot of questions today, and they've got to come up with some better answers on there, unfortunately.
Jack Smith couldn't convert from the touchline, but it still means it's Haven 0, Thunder 10, just into the 11th minute. And yeah, Ben Pearce deputising in the centres this afternoon, just his third professional game, of course, as well for Ben Pearce, just his second start.
And he's going to need Andrew, the people he's in the middle of there. That's Joe Lowe and Eccleston. So they're experienced players. They need to get round him and sort that right side defence.
Whitehaven do need to watch it. They could have been penalised once again for offside there. There was 3 or 4 members of that what would be defensive line in front of Cole Walker-Taylor. Looking to fetch it forward now on what will be the second tackle here for the Thunder. They've got to 22, 23 metres away from their own line. Pemberton in there at dummy half, going across a couple of pairs of hands. Into the hands is it Smith on that side, potentially maybe Matthew Foster. Looking to go down that short right hand side now, back in then to Jordan Lip, the fullback. And 5-ish metres short of halfway, 10-15 metres in from the popular side touchline. Comes in now into the hands of Foster once more and just over the halfway line on what will be the 5 and last. Pemberton in there at dummy half. Goes right into the hands then of Roberts, and Robert will put it right down the throat of Cole Walker-Taylor, but he's only 10 metres away, and 10 metres in from the touchline there was Cole Walker-Taylor, and he's met by the Thunder defence. Plays it 20 away from his own line as Dave Eccleston's now the man to try and get it forward the backs. You'd imagine he'll have to do a lot of work to try and get Whitehaven forward in them first 2 or 3 tackles, and here's another one in Ben Pearce, and like I said, deputising in the centres this afternoon is Ben Pearce. Does well make his as many metres backwards as he did forwards there. In the tackle did Ben Pearce. Holgate in there at dummy half, and Mitchell Todd. So this will be the 4th tackle, and it's going to be the 4th consecutive back to try and take Whitehaven forward here. 12 and a half on the clock. Holgate in there at dummy half, goes into the hands of Thompson, and Thompson trying to escape Taylor Pemberton, and did temporarily, but then there's 3 Thunder defenders that fetch him down. Just over halfway, 5 metres or so, goes left on what is the 5 and last, into the hands of Kieran Walker. Searching for the touchline potential there was Kieran Walker. Lip collected, but nearly slipped his foot over the touchline. Looks like Jake Pearce, just a note, he's going to be okay to return to the field. He's just re-warming up down to our right hand side.
Yeah, good set from Whitehaven there, probably the best attacking set, and it's just simple, just yardage, get yardage, quick play of the ball, get us some good field position for your kicker and put it in that corner and try and keep them in that corner. It's a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment, but Whitehaven really need to just step it up a few percent there to get the better of Newcastle.
A couple of players caught in at marking, and Thunder trying now looking to take advantage, and they're coming down this left hand side with Aidan McGowan. 6 again in favour of the visitors, to the dismay of the grandstand over my right hand side shoulder here at the recreation ground. They're going to push the Thunder man back over halfway. It's going to be like 2.5 metres short of that now, as Pemberton's in there at dummy half. Into the middle then now with Ryan Jackson, the first try scorer of the afternoon for this Newcastle Thunder side. That looks forward to Santi once more. And Pemberton isn't happy with some of their Jack Kellett's done, but then it's Thunder that get the penalty. And Brett Bailey's in there now having a word as well. And Whitehaven just getting caught in 1 or 2 things there. And if they're going to get anything from this contest, David Seeds, it's sort of arguments and battles they can't be putting themselves in this afternoon.
Yeah, they might win the pushing and shoving battle, but but they have to find a little bit of composure, does this Whitehaven team. They just seem a bit, I don't know, off. The enthusiasm levels, sort of, composure levels were just a bit off today. Can't put my sort of finger on it why, but Newcastle in prime position again on Whitehaven's defensive line for another attack.
So from the penalty, Ryan Jackson's the man to take it forward. They're 11 metres out are the Thunder. Pemberton comes left into the hands of Cody Hunter. Steps up to Cody Hunter and got past Connor Holiday. Did Cody Hunter, but is then being taken down. But they're only 2 metres out. Pemberton's in there. Brendan Santi, it's another 6 again. Whitehaven's goal line defence will get under Santi, but this is a fresh set of 6 from here. Comes now into the hands of Reynolds, and you are going to stop. I don't care who you are, you're not stopping a tall figure of a man like Harvey Reynolds that close to the line. And it's the 3rd try in the opening quarter of an hour here at the recreation ground. The Thunder are 14-0 up, and no doubt one of the easiest conversions you'll see all season for Jack Smith. He should make it 16 with 16 minutes gone.
Yeah, like we discussed earlier, Jordan, what has been Whitehaven's best asset last year and this year has been the defence on their defensive line, but the Newcastle are just getting a roll on, but assisted by some gifts by Whitehaven. Up to press, 15 minutes gone. I have Whitehaven turning that over 5 or 6 times against Newcastle's 1 this moment in time. So Whitehaven suicidal at the minute. They're just asking Newcastle to come at them. People keep saying to me, Whitehaven love defending. Well, I know they love defending and they're good at defending, but against this Newcastle team, you cannot do that. And that's just a simple walkover, really. And you don't really see that as part of Whitehaven's DNA.
Jack Smith does add on the extras, so it is 16-0 here to Newcastle Thunder. That record, that unbeaten record against the Thunder, stretching back 17 games, all home games with Newcastle Thunder. Whitehaven haven't seen defeat, 16 victories, just 1 draw. That is really under 30 this afternoon. 16-0 up are the Thunder. 16.5 minutes on the clock. And Whitehaven once again lucky not to be penalised for offside at the kick-off. But it's collected right on the try line and then brought up. And Whitehaven's defensive efforts are good on that occasion, trying to put the Thunder man down. They've lost a metre or two. Sort of all on top of each other there. Ryan Jackson was the man to fetch it forward. Santi is the man now. The Italian international, 16 metres out as he plays it. Pemberton comes across a couple of pairs of hands, finds Hunter. They're looking to go for it in on play two, and they've broke down this left-hand side of the Thunder. There's 4-on-1. McGovern, that looks forward from here to Cody Hunter. Back-to-back tries, however, for the Newcastle Thunder, and they're ripping Whitehaven to shreds. Are the Thunder at the moment. 17.5 on the clock. It is Whitehaven 0, Newcastle Thunder 20, and if Whitehaven do not get a grip of this David Seeds, this could turn into a massacre.
It's a point a minute at the moment, Jordan. You're absolutely right there. This Newcastle team are winning in every department. They're winning in the middle, they're winning out wide, they're winning the penalty count, they're winning the error count, they're winning everything at this moment in time. You know, and there's a lot of experience in that team at that team, but that should not stop Whitehaven Rugby League doing what they normally do. So, there's not a lot in positives that I can take out of that first 17-18 minutes there, Jordan. And if they don't stop this rot, it could be a big scoreline.
Jack Smith has had to go and collect the ball from behind the Kells end. It was left there by Cody Hunter as he celebrated his try. 4 in the opening 18.5 minutes here at the recreation ground, and around us you could hear a pin drop round here at the recreation ground, and it'll disappoint so many, of course. Anthony Murray as well. Many were expecting a difficult task to Sheffield last week after their performance here the week before, and they contributed in that. Yes, they got defeat, but they contributed in that to keep themselves on the front foot and keep themselves in the contest. In the opening quarter here, David Seeds, they haven't at all, and they're now 22-0 down, and Jack Smith adds the extras on.
No, and I think it's, again, Jordan, it's hard to pinpoint, but, you know, I might have given this side a bit too much respect. You know, this is a lineup which has got ex-Super League players from Cass, from York, from Hull KR, from Leeds, you know, from York, from everywhere, really. Have they given them too much respect before this match started? I don't know, but, you know, like we've just said there, we have to stop this rot.
Got to 19.5 on the clock. The Thunder have made it up to the 20-metre line. On the first tackle, Pemberton in there at dummy half, and Santi again said his name an awful lot in the opening stages here at the recreation ground. Just short of 20 minutes gone as he'll get up and play the ball 28 metres away from his own line. Goes a couple of pairs of hands, pops it up now, do the Thunder. They look just excited to be playing rugby league out there, and it's another penalty. Kieran Walker, Ellis Nixon, it was Walker that's been penalised, and he's having a conversation. He stopped the clock actually as referee Denton Arnold. He's having a word with Kieran Walker. He's calling the touch judge out. He's saying someone's bit him. There, and that's why he's calling Connor Holliday out. It won't be a penalty, but there's an allegation of a bite, and that is something you do not like to see at all. Any allegations of course, but there won't be a change. It'll just be the incident will be put on report. Be honest, the camera's probably the wrong side to see anything, so whether anything will come from it, but there is an allegation of a bite from Kieran Walker, and there's not any, and we're still going to come back for the original penalty from Thunder anyways, and Will Roberts going to have an opportunity here to put the ball at the touch, and he'll make 25 metres on that, and the Thunder starting 35 metres out here as we just tick over into the 21st minute.
Yeah, again, another gift from Whitehaven, and I think he's given that penalty there as turn him over the 90 degrees there, Jordan, I think. So again, that's something in Whitehaven's control, and another gift for Newcastle to say, come at me.
Santi put down. Pemberton comes left into the hands of the loose forward Harvey Reynolds, and they're just running with no fear or anything at all here at the Newcastle Thunder. And why would you? 22-0 up. Pemberton goes right into the hands of Jackson, and he just keeps his legs pumping. Does Ryan Jackson. 17 metres out, centre field. Pemberton in there at dummy half. Here will come left into the hands of Cody Hunter. Back then into the hands of Reynolds once more. taken down. 10 metres out. Pemberton comes down this short side into the hands of Hunter with a double pump, and they're in for their 5th of the afternoon. It's Noah Whittingham in on this left hand side corner, just into the 22nd minute. In a few seconds now, Whitehaven 0, Newcastle Thunder 26. It's more than a point a minute for this side at the moment. And if it could potentially have got any quieter here at the recreation ground, David Seeds, it has. You could hear a pin drop.
And I don't want to talk too loud, Jordan, because I think they'll hear me. It's that quiet. But yeah, it is a masterclass in basic, simple rugby that Newcastle are giving Whitehaven at this moment in time. They are just doing the basics, and they are doing really well, aided and abetted by Whitehaven just turning over them with errors and penalties. That try, that's the right hand side. We've got to do a little bit more to help Ben Peace out there in that right hand centre. That's 3 tries now on the right hand side, and I think there's maybe 2 down the middle there, 2 or 3 down the middle. But what is becoming evident is that right hand side defence is struggling at this moment in time. So Gus and Anthony need to try and resolve some of that, or that's going to get worse.
The only thing not making it worse at the moment is Jack Smith hasn't gone 30-2 from this right hand side touchline. He's 3 from 5 is the centre, but it is awful messy reading for those of the chocolate blue and gold persuasion. But if you're purple, yellow and black, you'll be loving this one. 22.5 minutes gone. It is Whitehaven 0, Newcastle Thunder 26. Connor Holliday not happy with Denton Arnold, trying to have a word with him. He's the Whitehaven captain this afternoon, but the referee cannot be blamed for conceding 26 points in 22 minutes. Don't care if you disagree with his decisions. Brendan Santee will play the ball. Pemberton in there at dummy half. Ryan Jackson, the man to take it forward, and on the second tackle, they're 20 metres away from their own line here. There's Jake Peace, he's back out there. Don't know if you mentioned that a few minutes ago. Comes across into the hands then of Foster. Gets the offload away. It's into the hands of McGowan now, and he's trying to get away as McGowan, but Connor Holliday held on, and Ben Pearce come and completed the tackle. Front to come down this short side once more. The 3-on-2. Ben Pearce has got back and helped out there as Jack Kellett was alongside him there as well. Pemberton's in there, dummy half. Not happy with Summit there, he's Cody Hunter. Typical Antipodean, got a little bit of attitude about him, as you'd expect. The kickers come in. Cole Walker-Taylor collects it. It's also easy enough to have a little bit of attitude and about yourself when you're 26 and up. As Cole Walker-Taylor will get up and play the ball. Walker has had to dive in there, and even Bigger Dyke's looking to go down that left-hand side now and trying to escape here. 20 metres out from his own line, 5-6 metres in from the popular side touchline, just screaming and wanting something here at Whitehaven, but they've been perfect so far in defence of the Newcastle Thunder. Conceded nothing, no penalties, no 6 against. Dave Eccleston's now the man that's going to be picked up and put down onto his back, 30 metres away from his own line. Holgate lying in Weir at dummy half. He'll now come across then into the hands of Jack Kellett, and Kellett's going to find his front, but it's the 5 and last, and they're short of their own 40 here at Whitehaven. It goes left into the hands of Kieran Walker. Walker looks to put the kick in, but it's right down the throat of Andy Jacassi. You think you know that name? You will do. He was on loan at Workington last year, scored here in the derby a few months ago, and he plays his ball 10 short of halfway as he gets up now. Yeah, that's the difference with the two teams. Newcastle getting the kicker on the front foot, and their kicker putting it 10 metres off the Avon line. Ours, we're getting to the arc, we're getting to the 40, and then we're kicking, and they're getting to the 40. So it's a good starting point, set after set for Newcastle at the moment. Pemberton goes right into the hands of Santee once more, and Brett Bailey tries to get involved from the marker position. Kieran Walker's in there, goes right. They're just trying to exploit any sort of gap, aren't they? With Matty Foster now on that right-hand side. He's going to be taken down on what is now the 5 and last. Comes into the hands of Will Roberts. Looks to get the kick in behind. They're just splitting the defence. He's had to dive on it once more. There's Cole Walker-Taylor. And immediately looking around it and go, where am I going to get hit from? That come from Aidan McGowan. And now Dave Eccleston's trying to take his side forward. But 2 tackles gone in this set. Still less than 10 metres away from their own line. Into the hands now of Ben Pearce. It's hard yards going for the Thunder here. Sorry, for Whitehaven, I should say.
Again, Jordan, just a simple set by Newcastle there, just getting them some good field possession and a good starting point for the defensive line. Good kick by Roberts, but you've got 5, 6, 7 Newcastle lads knows it's coming, and Roberts has put it in a great place where we have to.
I don't think there was anything. Wow, I'll be honest, CG, I don't think there was anything wrong with that one. Don't get me wrong, it was a big hit on Joe Lowe, but I think there wasn't anything wrong with that one. I think Whitehaven, who have just got their first penalty of the afternoon, somewhat, I'd say, fortuitously.
Jordan, I felt that in my ribs myself. I could hear it.
Yeah, we could hear it, which probably tells you how quiet it is, but...
And that's what?
Fallen just in shot in front of us.
And 26 minutes in, Jordan, I think I've got that as Newcastle's first penalty.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how disciplined this Newcastle side have been today.
They're getting ready to make a few changes. Our Whitehaven in a minute, as are this Newcastle side as well. Holgate will come right from dummy half, played on halfway by Brett Bailey. Jack Kellett put down onto his back. Holgate's in there at dummy half. Will come left into the hands of Joe Lowe. Walker is just behind Walker a little bit and had to step up. No, Jack Newbegin again, of course, out there this afternoon. He's suffered a shoulder injury, not too sure how long he may be missing for. There's Alison Holgate trying to get through, but lost the ball up on contact, and they're looking to go for it with the free play with Cody Hunter, and Hunter's the man that's going to be taken down. That will be 0 tackle for the Thunder, 38 metres out, and here's exactly what you want after 27 minutes of defence. David Seeds, Newcastle introduces a Kumatai.
Yeah, he's big by name and he's big by nature, Jordan. He's a big lad, and as you see, 27 minutes in, they're going to use him this last 13 before half time, and they'll certainly use him when they're on Whitehaven's try line.
Side with the ball in hand, Brad Brennan and Jordan Thompson. Thompson getting ready to come back on after that HI interchange with Jake Pearce. Brennan coming on for the first time, but it's into the hands now of Roberts, and Roberts escapes one, did nearly escape a second. 30 metres away from the Whitehaven line, into the hands of Akuma Tai once more. Put down there, he's Tai. What is now 5 and last, 25 metres out. Comes left into the hands of Cody Hunter. Hunter looking for the cross. The kick towards the corner. Cole Walker-Taylor looks to rise the highest. Oh! It's been judged to have been knocked on. So it will save Whitehaven's blushes, but Brad Ward was in that left-hand side corner. Doesn't look comfortable under the high ball in the games I've seen him so far as Cole Walker-Taylor. That's once or twice now he's been beaten in the air. He's had his blushes saved there. Whitehaven, 28.5 minutes gone, looking to fetch the ball forward.
And again, that's the difference between the Whitehaven side and the Newcastle side. I don't think we've once challenged a kick up in the air for the Newcastle fullback, Jordan. So that's the dominance Newcastle has at the moment. But yeah, right decision, knock on by Newcastle, and Whitehaven have got 80 metres to go.
Jack Kellett and Brett Bailey were the men we've drawn to be replaced by Brad Brennan and Jordan Thompson. Jordan Thompson nearly through there after spinning away, just held onto the ball half a second longer there, did Caelan Walker, trying to utilise a gap. 10 short of halfways. He'll come right, will Holgate into the hands of Lowe then, who found Connor Holiday, and Holiday's going to be put down onto his back on halfway. Just to the right of centre on the 5 and less. Comes right into the hands of Joe Lowe. Lowe searching for the touchline. He's not going to find it. Jordan Libb nearly slipped and put his foot in touch again there once more, but he's now going to step up and look to take on Ben Pearce and Dave Eccleston. And he's going to be taken down 23-ish metres away from his own line here, as we're 30 seconds short of half an hour gone.
Yeah, and what Whitehaven's looking for here, good kick, good set of 6, good kick, puts him in a good position, but what we're waiting for here is a mistake by Newcastle.
Jacassi come off the wing to try and take his side forward here, and he's been pushed back 4 to 5 metres there as the former Castleford man. 6 again. Whitehaven just their own worst enemy at the moment, and then it's another penalty. They're giving the referee a decision to make, Denton Arnold, and he's making the decisions against Whitehaven at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of frustrated players out there at the moment, and again, that's born by the Newcastle dominance that they've got at the moment. They're sticking their head through tackles, which is making it that staying on top of that tackle a little bit harder for Whitehaven.
McGowan took the tap and then into a couple of pairs of hands before finding Leo Tennyson. Push back over the halfway line there is Tennyson. Brad Brennan involved. Pemberton in there at dummy half, put the back. Oh no, they aren't. The first error, 31 minutes into the contest from this Newcastle side. And Liam Williamson, the former Seaton man, will come on to make his debut. Not a sort of time in the game you particularly want to be coming on to make your debut, David Seeds, at 26-0 down, but I'm sure he'll be wanting to go out there and show that his opportunity he's earned in pre-season has been well worth it.
Yeah, young lad from Seaton there. A tough game, but it's on debut, tough one to come in with, but great lesson for him.
So it will be Cole Walker-Taylor who plays it 40 away from the Newcastle line, into the hands now of Kieran Walker, pops it up to Brad Brennan, and Brennan will try and keep his legs pumping, will he? Prop forward, taken down 32 metres away. Holgate is in there at dummy half, comes right then into the hands of Joe Lowe, out the back net to Kieran Walker, now finds Cole Walker-Taylor, there is then Ben Pearce. They've made it 21 metres away of Whitehaven here. Walker-Taylor in there at dummy half, comes across to Lowe, now into the hands of Jordan Thompson, back in the middle of the field here are Whitehaven, but he's put down onto his back is Thompson, in line with the right hand side post, 15 metres out. Holgate in there still at dummy half, into the hands of Lowe, then finds Brad Brennan. He's trying to escape the Newcastle defence, but there is 5-6 round him and he's taken down. What is the 5 and last? Comes right into the hands of Joe Lowe, looking to get the kick in behind his Joe Lowe, and it's going to have to be dealt with, is it? No, it's not. He just fell dead. Very, very well read by Jordan Libb. And the best attacking set from Whitehaven shown of the game still ends in a top 20 and a 7 tackle set for the visitors, David Seeds.
And if that's off the cuff, then I can see why the players didn't get to that, Jordan. But if that is a planned move, which I'd hope it would be, then then players, the wingers, the centres, the second rows have got to get on that ball there. He's just shepherded it out.
Chikesi plays the ball into the hands then of Jack Smith. Smith taken down. Pearce and Brennan involved. Pemberton in there at dummy half, into the hands of Reynolds, who finds Tennyson. Yep, absolutely, all day long. There's been a few that's been close, and there was one that was given in the early stages of the first half, and most of them to Brendan Santi looked like they were a yard and a half forward, I'll be completely honest. But with 7 minutes to go until the half-time hooter here at the recreation ground, the Thunder are human, David Seeds. That's back-to-back sets with errors, but they still find themselves 26-0 up.
Yeah, just give Whitehaven a little bit of a lifeline there. 31 minutes into the match, and that's the first time Whitehaven's had a good attack and set near the Newcastle line.
Bickerdike will get the ball from the base of the scrum. Liam Williamson still waiting to come on. Ellison Holgate's going to be leaving the field now, and he's okay to come on, and he'll make his debut. Well, Liam Williamson. Joe Lowe dived in at dummy half, into the hands of Walker, now into the hands of Bickerdike. Nixon has to dive in there. Williamson still trotting himself across the field to try and get into the action. That was a wild pass from Ellis Nixon, but it bounces kindly into the hands of Jake Pearce. Pearce finds his from 32 metres out, and it's number 32 in at dummy half, Liam Williamson. Into the hands now of Jordan Thompson, and Thompson looks to get the offload away and finds Joe Lowe. Lowe looks to step back inside and escapes the clutches of the Newcastle defence. Taken down 11 metres out, 6 again in favour of Whitehaven. Into the hands now of Jordan Thompson, and Thompson's going to try and spin out to the tackle. Scored 2 tries against a vastly different Thunder side away from home later on in the season. Into the hands then of Williamson. Walker looks to get the kick in behind, and he'll dive on it on that left hand side, will Ethan Bickerdike. And Whitehaven, that's something they'll like to see. They've put the first real bit of pressure they've put on the Thunder here of Whitehaven. They've cracked, and they've been able to get on that left hand side. If there is any hope left, David Seeds, they needed something like that before the half time break.
And I think that's what I was getting at 2 minutes ago, Jordan. The kick by Joe Lowe on the right hand side, that level of enthusiasm, that I don't know if it was planned or it wasn't unplanned, but still the enthusiasm to get to that ball on the try line has got to be much better on the right hand side. On the left hand side, they've just done exactly the same, and a great pick up by Bickerdike, which gives a little bit of hope just before half time.
Whitehaven 4, Newcastle Thunder 26, and that is something no doubt Anthony Murray will be saying at half time, despite what else he's got to say. But look, the first bit of pressure you've put on them, they've cracked. You've been able to get in behind them. Let's try and do that more and more and stay in this contest in the second half. But it is still a long road back for Whitehaven. But Kieran Walker will line up the conversion. Sort of 11 metres out, but he's sort of, I'm trying to say halfway between the sticks and the touchline. It's a weird position to see a conversion taken in, but he's been able to add the extras. Has Kieran Walker, and it is now Haven 6, Thunder 26. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online, 4 minutes as we make it to the half-time break.
Yeah, and it's the building blocks, Jordan, that gets you into that position that Whitehaven need to sort. Say Newcastle are doing relentlessly set after set after set, other than the odd couple of errors, a couple of penalties that they just gave away to give Whitehaven that field possession. So I think Anthony Murray's half-time talk will be to build and sort all the basics that get you into that field position. You know, good yardage sets, quick play of the balls, good kicking game, putting pressure on the Newcastle attack. All them little things we've got to sort.
Roberts' kick, come off the foot of Ben Pearce, tried to trap it. A man maybe not used to standing in that position, obviously centres, and you know, depending on where you're on the field, you stand in sort of different positions, and maybe hasn't had to deal with an awful lot with that and couldn't trap it the way he wanted. It's gone over the touchline.
Yeah, it's like I said at the start, Jordan, it's a big ask for a young player like Ben to come out of his comfort zone at second row and then put him into a centre. Centre is a very, very difficult place to defend. But, yep, maybe he could have done a little bit better with that one. But, you know, we'll defend the lad, you know, being put out there. It's a tough position to be in.
Into the hands then of Corey Hunter. Didn't want anything to do with it there, did the half-back. 12 metres out of the Thunder. Pemberton in there at dummy half. Into the hands now with Tennyson. Williamson involved alongside Jordan Thompson and Connor Holliday. Just the left hand side of the post. 7 metres out. Pops it up for Harvey Reynolds. I think he's got it down as Reynolds. I was just about to say, I think the post padding has come to their favour there. And I think that's something Anthony Murray will be fairly disappointed with how is he in the middle of the field, David Seeds, that they've been able to crash themselves over of the Thunder.
Yeah, like we're constantly saying, Jordan, you know, it has been part of and still is part of the Whitehaven's DNA up until this point. I think the defensive, all the gutsy sort of desire, you know, they usually put on that defensive line. It doesn't seem to be there today, and Newcastle are picking up on their weak points at the moment, and down the middle of the park is one of them.
They've obviously seen something on the video in the 2 games against Sheffield that they've been able to get at, and they've executed it perfectly. What's that, their 6th try of the first half, not going at quite the point the minute they were in the opening sort of quarter or so of the contest, but they have been dominant in attack and defence of the Thunder. With 90 seconds to the half-time break, we're about to see Jack Smith about to tag on the extras here.
And attack-wise and defensive-wise, the ruck, they have dominated that ruck. You know, which you know, certainly in attack, if you're getting a good quick play of the ball and you're giving Whitehaven less time to communicate and defend, then you know that is a positive, and that's something Newcastle have done really, really well today, and still doing it this moment in time.
Jack Smith does tag on the extras. It is Whitehaven 6. Newcastle Thunder 32. A minute to go as we make it until the end of the first half, as kickoff comes in from Walker Taylor, looking to go short to Whitehaven. Knock on by the Thunder. Alice Nixon will then collect. Something a bit different from Whitehaven, and they're 20 metres out. Into the hands now of Pearce, into the hands then of Jordan Thompson. And Thompson will keep his legs pumped before eventually being put down. 10 metres out now of Whitehaven to the left hand side of the post. Comes right then into the hands of Walker. Now finds Joe Lowe. Lowe then looking to get round the defence, and he's going to be wrapped up. Is the Australian. 5 metres out, put down onto his back. Williamson in there at dummy half. Looking to go himself there is Liam Williamson. Spotted a gap. Can't blame him. 3 metres out, if that. Joe Lowe in there, dummy half, into the hands of Jordan Thompson. There is the hooter, into the hands of Brad Brennan. Brennan finds Joe Lowe. It is the final play, looks for the kick over the top, and it's going to be collected by Andy Jacassi, and then Jacassi could be away, but he gets the ball away. Into the hands then, is it of... couldn't quite see who it is from here, but it is half time here at the recreation ground. Whitehaven chancing the arm at the end, as were the Thunder, but it's been...
There's something in that, but let's not take credit away from this Newcastle performance.
Leo Tennyson is the man to fetch it forward from the kick-off. Thunder attacking the railway end in this second half. Whitehaven will be attacking the Kells end. Continue now, look to fetch his ball up. Do the Thunder. Noah Whittingham on the far left-hand side as he's taken down 30 metres out. 3 Whitehaven defenders involved. He comes into the hands now of Akuma Tai, Brad Brennan, Liam Williamson, Jordan Thompson, and there is another Whitehaven defender involved there as well. That looks to be, it's Ellis Nixon, but they're all caught out at marker from a fast player the ball, but Thompson and Brennan able to recover to get back into the action. Pemberton's in there at dummy half, 5 short of halfway. It's into the hands of Akuma Tai, looking to get his arm free. Liam Williamson's done well to hold on there after initially trying to bump him off was Akuma Tai. It's the 5 and last. It's going to go left into Rostan, who's out there at the start of this second half as well. And Cole Walker-Taylor couldn't collect the kick. Said in the first half he struggled under the high ball, but there was no pressure on the Whitehaven fullback there. He's just dropped it cold right at the start of this second half. Scrum down, head and feed to the Thunder. Not how you want to start the second half, David Seeds.
No, certainly not. You don't want to put Newcastle in that position. That's the first time I've seen Cole Walker drop a catch like that, and that just really sums up Whitehaven's first half. We're just not quite there at the moment. What we used to do, we're not doing.
Couple of pairs of hands as it comes out into the hands then of Jack Smith. 9 metres out. Rostan dives out a dummy half. Held up over the line. We've got a stoppage there as well. Rostan just fresh onto the field. Looks to be in a little bit, maybe a change in at half back. I think Cody Hunter has left the field. No, Hunter's out there. Pemberton's come to this right hand side, I've noticed, so we'll have to try and work that one out. But there definitely has been a half time interchange out there for the Thunder, so keep an eye on that one. In the meanwhile, Ellis Nixon is just getting some treatment from the Whitehaven physio.
Yeah, one thing we haven't been great at, Jordan, is is round that ruck. There's the little number 14 there. He's just nearly got a try just from dummy half, and that's just communication and organisation at the play of the ball. We just haven't been doing that well at all.
Comes left now into the hands of Pemberton. Pemberton then finds the man in Tennyson. Nearly got up and drove back over the line. Some of them were too busy celebrating their tackle. It's in the hands of Akuma Tai. You're not stopping Akuma Tai from there. Could have put a brick wall in front of Akuma Tai that close to the line, and he's going to barge over from short range. It's the first try of the second half. It's their 7th of the contest for the Newcastle Thunder, and it is Whitehaven 6, Newcastle Thunder 36.
Yeah, we'll just keep repeating ourselves, Jordan. That's come from a really, really bad enforced error there by Cole Taylor. Put him in a great position. Again, what we said in the first half, we've just given Newcastle some easy field position and scoring opportunities, and they are taking them left, right and centre at the moment. But there, you've got Akuma Tai on Ellison Nixon. There's only one winner. We've got to communicate in that line. We've got to try and understand, and they'll have done a little bit of homework on some of this side, but Akuma Tai versus Alex Nixon, you've got to get people round. They've showed us in the first half that they can do 3-4 barge overs on the try line, so why would you stop that in the second half? So it's been coming, we haven't been able to stop it, and that's another try for Newcastle.
Jack Smith tags on the extras. 5 from 7 is the Newcastle centre. Takes it out to Whitehaven 6, Newcastle Thunder 38. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online via the BBC Sport app, website and your smart speakers, of course. This afternoon, Ellis Nixon has been withdrawn so the doctor had went and viewed the video footage at the back of the stand and then has called Ellis Nixon off for a head assessment. So Mark Shackley comes on for his first appearance of the afternoon and replaces Ellis Nixon out there. Whitehaven now do kick off through the boot of Cole Walker-Taylor. Lip collects and then finds Leo Tennyson. It's a big man, is Leo Tennyson, and he's been put down 14-15 metres away from his own line. Rostan in there at dummy half. And look to continue now fetching this ball forward, do the Thunder, just over their own 20, maybe 22, 23 metres away from their own line in at centre field. Akuma Tai hands off Jordan Thompson, but then gets re-involved alongside Ethan Bickerdike and Kieran Walker. Got numbers on this right hand side, but I'd like to go back towards the middle with Reynolds to the Thunder. 37 metres out now as Williamson, Shackley and Jordan Thompson involved in that tackle, trying to go for a potential 40-20 here, but they haven't got the angle they wanted. Cole Walker-Taylor to drop back, and then it's bounced, and he's had to dive on it as Cole Walker-Taylor, and then that he's got a knee right to the head as Cole Walker-Taylor. It's going to be a penalty for Whitehaven. I think the Newcastle defence are a little bit unlucky there, I'll be completely honest. It's just been a contest on the floor, but Cole Walker-Taylor hasn't half, took a bang.
Yeah, I think the Newcastle player had to go for it. It was there to be taken, but I think it's number 9, is it Pemberton?
Number 9 Pemberton, yeah.
I think Pemberton's gone in with his foot, tried to kick it, and poor old Cole Taylor's got his head in. You know, he's tried to retrieve it, so a foot and a head, there's only one winner there, so just hope that hasn't caught him too much there. But
we'll run through the scores from elsewhere while we're waiting here in the Championship. There was 2 o'clock kickoffs. It's finished Dewsbury 22, Keighley 20, Midlands Hurricanes 26, Doncaster 24, and then the remaining all half-time scores: Halifax 16, Batley 4, London 10, Oldham 2, Rochdale 4, Workington 8, Swinton 12, Gould 12, and Widnes 12, North Wales Crusaders 12. And of course 5 minutes gone in the second half here at the Recreation Ground. Whitehaven 6, Newcastle Thunder 38. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if Cole Walker-Taylor's going to have to leave the field here. Has he got the... No, he's going to have to, is he? He's got the okay to continue for the moment. Joe Lowe kicks to touch and gets a decent strike on that, does Joe Lowe. It means Whitehaven will start this 32, 34 metres away from the Thunder line here. Ethan Bickerdike takes it up into the hands then of Kieran Walker, and Brad Brennan is the man to get his engine on and take Whitehaven forward. You can hear the grandstand around us appreciative of his efforts there. Into the hands now of Kieran Walker. Ethan Bickerdike is now the man to take Whitehaven forward. 10 metres out, pretty much 10 metres in from this near side grandstand touchline. 6 again in favour of Whitehaven, just their second of the afternoon. It's into the hands now of Mark Shackley. Put down onto his back is Shackley. Williamson in there at dummy half, just to the left hand side of post, attacking the Kells end. Come left into the hands of Kieran Walker. Walker looks to step back inside, but he's being wrapped up by the Thunder defence. 6 minutes gone in the second half. Williamson, dummy half, goes right into the hands of Mark Shackley. Put down onto his back, 2 metres short of the line is Mark Shackley. Williamson goes right into the hands of Kieran Walker. Now finds Joe Lowe, finds Cole Walker-Taylor, escapes the clutches, puts the ball over the top into the hands of Dave Eccleston. Eccleston has to look to step back inside, calls for a high tackle from the Popular side. Nothing given by the man Declan Arnold. However, does give a 6 again in favour of Whitehaven. So they'll continue to knock on the door. In the hands of Jake Pearce now. Looks ever so slightly high on Jake Pearce. But once again, nothing given to the right hand side of the post. 7 metres out. Comes more central now with the hands of Kieran Walker. Now finds Cole Walker-Taylor and looks to take the line on himself. Maybe the dummy was expecting there, Cole Walker-Taylor. But he's taken down 10 metres out. 12, 13 metres in from the grandstand touchline. Bickerdike goes towards the middle now with Walker, and he'll find Mark Shackley, calls for the forward pass. He didn't know what to do there, Kieran Walker. He didn't know whether to find Mark Shackley or go out back, and by the time he'd made the decision, it was too late to find Mark Shackley. Scrum down, head and feed to the Thunder, 10 away from their own line. Yeah,
fantastic opportunity there, Jordan, to Whitehaven to get over that line. You know how many tackles we had that day? We must have had 12, 13, 14 tackles.
Easily.
Must have had. We went to the left side, we went to the right side, but some strong edge defence by Newcastle have just repelled us to do that. But a poor error at the wrong time, really.
Looks to be Will Roberts, I think, that has left the field, the half-back, and then Hunter's gone to the left-hand side, and Pemberton's come to the right-hand side, and it's Maxime Rostan who's in there at dummy half. He's lying in wait at the moment. However, he won't get an opportunity as the Thunder make another error through Noah Whittingham, the try scorer of the Thunder's 5th try of the afternoon, and they're not the force they were in the first half in these opening 8 minutes. David Seeds, and if the score was a little bit closer, you thought Whitehaven might have still had an opportunity here.
Yeah, we just need a little bit more patience on the patience and composure here. Build a set, and even if we don't get a try from it, let's get something from it. Let's get a drop out. Let's get a good starting position. Let's get something from. But let's see us complete a set here.
Kieran Walker found Bickerdike. Bickerdike got his arm free, but elected to keep hold of the ball. Williamson in there at dummy half. Another 6 again in favour of Whitehaven. That's 3 in the opening 8.5 minutes alone of the second half. Jordan Thompson will play the ball. Williamson goes right into the hands of Brad Brennan. He'll look to try and power his way over. Will Brad Brennan is trying to get his arm free. Is the big prop forward. Taken down millimetres away from the try line. Williamson in there at dummy half. Will look to go right into the hands over the top of Ben Pearce. Pearce is over on that right hand side corner, is he? Oh, he's lost it over the line. The second consecutive week with the try line begging for Ben Pearce, and hasn't been able to ground the ball on both occasions. He looks certain to cross on that right hand side, but some last gasp Thunder defence is seeing the young man knock on that right hand side. Scrum down, head and feet, and he's short of the line because it's not a top 20 either.
And that was a tough ball to take. I think it was from Joe Lowe, but a tough, he's coming in on a great line there, and I think that's what you'll find with Ben when you get him in the second row. He runs some great lines, and he's run a great line there and picked it out of the air there, and it's just unfortunate short of the line to knock that over, but unfortunate for Ben.
I don't think the ball was for him. I think the ball was going over the top, potentially maybe looking for Dave Acklerston on that right hand side, and he's just plugged it up out the air. But like you say, great run and great collection in mid-air there from Ben Pearce, just not able to eventually come up with the goods, unfortunately, there for the youngster. But Newcastle finding it tough going here to find the goal forward they did in the first half. Digged Graham Stedman's side. And Rostan lying in wait at dummy half, 22 metres away from their own line. But Harvey Reynolds has done well there, and he's made 8, 9, nearly 10 metres there as Reynolds. Rostan still in there at dummy half, looking to go down that short left hand side with Cody Hunter. Dangerous is Hunter, gets the offload away, knocked back by a Newcastle man. Jumped on it by a Newcastle man, and they're not happy there at the Newcastle side, and it's Aidan McGowan that's one-on-one with Conor Holliday. I can understand why they weren't happy with one of the Whitehaven players dove on the Newcastle attacker on the floor, but he hadn't called held with referee Detton Arnold. They're entitled to do so. It doesn't look pretty, but they are entitled to do so. McGowan took exception, and referee Detton Arnold's had to split the two sides up, stop the clock, and he's just having a word with Andy Sweet, and it's knocked on. Scrum down, head and feet to Whitehaven. Like I say, CG, Whitehaven are entitled to do it. Your opposition will take exception to it, but until it's outlawed,
that's right.
It's allowed to continue.
If you're going to lie there and not expect to be tackled, you're going to get tackled. And it's Whitehaven have come good out of that because they've got a knock on the back of that. I didn't actually see the knock on Jordan, but
no, I didn't see it from here myself.
But I'll take anything at the moment. And so will this Whitehaven team.
They absolutely will. They're 40 metres out, 10.5 gone in this second half as we make it. Joe Lowe feeds a scrum, goes right from Williamson into the hands of Ben Pearce. Pearce is wrapped up. Comes now into the hands then of Conor Holliday. Put down onto his back is the Whitehaven captain. Williamson in there at dummy half. Comes left into the hands then of Jake Pearce. Pearce finds his front. 4 metres out. Williamson comes left into the hands of Kieran Walker. Then finds Brad Brennan trying to get his arm free. Dumped down onto his back is Brad Brennan. It's getting a little bit feisty out there with both sides. Williamson goes right into the hands of Shackley, who'll find Lowe. Then comes into the hands of Conor Holliday, and Holliday's nearly broken through. The Whitehaven captain celebrating his testimonial season. It's the 5 and last. He's a metre out if so. Goes right into the hands of Lowe. Keep putting behind, and surely got to come and be offside. Surely got to be offside. He come off the Newcastle Thunder defender's foot. Went to the man in front of him, and Andy Sweet on the touch judge, and Detton Arnold, the man in the middle, went, yep, okay, no problem, carry on, just a metre in front.
We're 100 metres away, Jordan. There's two officials there within 20 metres. How they did not say that, I do not know.
But the Thunder will take the opportunity just to clear their lines and try and take this side forward here. Jack Smith is the man to try and take his side forward here. Rostan in at dummy half, look to go, and then we'll then find Jordan Lip, the fullback. And Lip's going to be taken down. Centre field. 5 and last, 4 metres short of halfway. Looks to get the kick in, does Hunter. Isn't the best kick, and be collected on the full by Dave Eccleston, just 20 metres away from where Hunter had put that kick in. Means Whitehaven start just 4 metres short of their own 40.
Yeah, Newcastle's poorest kick of the day. I don't think Hunter was expecting it. I think he expected it to go somewhere else rather than where it went straight down Eccleston's throat. It was a good starting point for Whitehaven to get a good set of 6, attacking 6, and put Newcastle under pressure.
Todd in there at dummy, he plays the ball. Walker in there at dummy half, finds Ethan Bickerdike, and Bickerdike will fight his way up to the Newcastle 40 and maybe a metre or so over. Williamson in there at dummy half, into the middle now with Jake Pearce, then finds Joe Lowe, then it down to Conor Holiday, like forward from Lowe to Holiday from here. It's a 5 and last, 28 metres out. Walker Taylor in there at dummy half, goes right to Joe Lowe. Lowe puts a kick up in the air, trying to get a chaser in around it. Couldn't get anyone to really challenge, could Whitehaven, but Ben Pearce was there to wrap up Jordan Lip. No meters made following the catch.
Yeah, and I think two things have got to happen in that scenario, and I think I touched on it last year, Jordan. It's either got to be a higher kick so the running it, the Whitehaven people can get there, or the Whitehaven people have got to be faster. So we've got to try and get into them challenges, or that's just an easy catch for any fullback.
One of the Whitehaven players has took a nasty knock in a challenge, it looks like, falling off the tackle. Looks to be Ben Pearce, and at the moment we'll say no more than that because the Whitehaven physio is out there with him. But you mentioned you did say it a few times as well, Seeds, and you're not the only one that said it as well. That kick needs to be higher, give an opportunity for some attackers to get there, or it needs to be deeper to force them to come out that further, 10 metres, and give Whitehaven defenders more of an opportunity to put the challenge in there as well.
Yeah, and we've got to get someone out there, or that's just an easy take for the fullback. Luckily in that one it was we managed to take him down at the point of catching there, but some fullbacks are catching it and making yards from it. So just as I say, just a little strategy, little kicking strategy that isn't quite working for us at the moment, and I just think it could be that little bit better there. So
Ben Pearce, the man that's down, and they're calling for the HIA. Be Whitehaven's third one of the contest, is it? No, Jake Pearce. Someone else had to leave the field as well, I'm sure they did. And it's now going to be Ben Pearce as well. So there's going to be another reshuffle on that side, because you don't very often carry centres on the bench. So who is going to be going out there? So Kellett, Nixon, Bailey and Holgate. Shout for Conor Holiday to go in the centre. Jack Kellett's going out there. Maybe who's going to go in? Kellett in at back row? Potentially. Could be. Just waiting to see. Surely he's got to give time for, surely he's got to give time for Jack Kellett to get in the defensive line. So yeah, it looks to be Jack Kellett over to second row, which I know he played many positions for Ensgame, that I don't think he'll have played second row all that many times. But we're back underway. Now fetching the ball forward. The Thunder. It's a mix and match Whitehaven side out there at the moment. Rostan in there at dummy half. Into the hands then. And who's it? Trying to wait and see. It was Matty Foster. And called for a penalty against Brad Brennan. High tackle. Thunder's first penalty of the half. It's actually the first penalty for either side of the half. Whitehaven have had 3-6 against. But just into the 55th minute, Newcastle's going to have an opportunity to clear their lines through Pemberton and make onwards of 30 metres, or just around 30 metres. And Jacassi will come and collect this ball from this near grandstand side. Into the hands then of Jack Smith. Smith brings the ball up, met there by Jordan Thompson and Kieran Walker. Rostan out. Well, of course, it was Alice Nixon that come off the knee, and he still hasn't returned yet, but looks like he will be okay to continue. I'm surprised he hasn't come back out yet, because obviously we've had half time since he's come off, so I'm surprised that he hasn't come back on as yet. But he's about to in a minute. Into the hands then of Jordan Lip now. The Thunder really showing their intentions for the first time in the second half. McGowan comes right into the hands of Cody Hunter. He's assessing the situation. This Cody Hunter essentially then took the line on, taken down 8 metres out. Going to go down that short left hand side with Jordan Lip, but then Lip comes back to where it came from. Reynolds collects the ball. Williamson involved there. Brad Brennan involved. It's a 5 and last. One more for Whitehaven to survive. Comes right into the hands of Pemberton. Double pump. Then finds Cody Hunter. Looks to get the kick in behind. And Cole Walker-Taylor's just had to knock it dead. Because his former town teammate last season, Andy Jacassi, who was on loan from the Castleford Tigers, was searching for a try in this right-hand side corner. Whitehaven have to concede the goal line dropout. 15 and a half gone in the second half. Haven 6, Thunder 38.
Yeah, Whitehaven getting asked some questions on the right, the middle, and the left there, but managed to keep them out. But a good attack and set from Newcastle, just to get them that drop out and that composure that they've shown all game.
Ellis Nixon back onto the field, following that HIA, and Mark Shackley withdrawn as he replaced him towards the back end of that first half. Into the hands now of Pemberton. Pemberton then goes across the line to the hands of Cody Hunter. Hunter looking to get the dummy in. Sure, that should be a penalty. They've taken Jolo out there as the extra man, which was Noah Whittingham. Brett Burley getting ready to come on for Whitehaven. Into the hands now of Jordan Lip, and Lip straightens up the Thunder fullback, but he's taken down 2.5 metres out. Ross standing there at dummy half will come right into the hands of Cody Hunter. Into the hands now of Akuma Ty, and Ty's trying to scrape out of that tackle, but he's taken down in the shadows of the sticks here at the recreation ground. Into the hands then of Harvey Reynolds, searching for his hat-trick. Is Harvey Reynolds. He's hauled down short. 5 and last. Rostan looks to put the kick in behind, and he's got there. This Pemberton, Taylor Pemberton. Biggerdike couldn't recover fast enough. Obviously must have been short on numbers. David Seeds might have seen more than I did. I was too busy looking in and around that play the ball area. But for Biggerdike to be there, the centre David Seeds, Whitehaven must have been severely short on numbers on that right hand side. Pemberton's been the man to be able to take advantage. They've crossed for what is their 8th try of the afternoon, their second of the second half. Into the 58th minute, Whitehaven 6, Newcastle 42.
Yeah, I think Thunder might have just got the numbers on that left hand side, on their right, our left, and our defence has come up a little bit too quickly, and it's made him kick behind rather than going with the hands across the line, really. So I think we made that decision for him, but just unfortunate that Cole Taylor isn't there around the back there, or Biggerdike was quicker to get there. So yeah, unfortunate, but some good enthusiasm, some good reads by this Newcastle team.
Mark Shackley had been off the field a grand total of 90 seconds. Obviously had to come off because of the HIA of Nixon, but he's back on there. Jack Smith has added on the extras. He's 6 from 8. Is the Newcastle centre, and it is now Whitehaven 6, Newcastle 44. Brett Bailey and Mark Shackley back out there to replace Brad Brennan, and who else has come off, can't quite tell from here. Brad Brennan, and I'll work it out in a minute. We'll work that one out in just a minute. Cole Walker-Taylor with the kick-off. Jack Kellett 2 yards offside on that far right-hand side once more. He's going to have to watch himself. But Thunder look to fetch his ball forward. And they're met there by 3 Whitehaven defenders. Shackley, Pearce, Kellett was the first man off. Look to continue to fetch his ball forward now. Do the Thunder. Into the hands of Pemberton. Pemberton's nearly through there. He's just been taken down. Bailey, and then it's going to be a penalty. Ellis Nixon holding on the second attempt. And the Thunder, as we look to get into the final minutes of this third quarter, looking to just look like the same they did in the opening sort of 25 minutes of the contest. Pemberton bangs in the touch, and the Thunder will start this 40 metres out from the Whitehaven line here.
Yeah, just like Pemberton did there, sticking his head through that Whitehaven defence and getting a quick play of the ball, and if they don't release him quick enough, and that penalty that they've been getting quite often. So Whitehaven need to get bodies in front, need to get that good first contact in front, and need to control that tackle a bit better, but
Ryan Jackson's going to be the man that's taken down. 18 metres out. Rostan goes left. Into the hands of fresh onto the field, Tyler Walton. The only surviving member of the 2025 squad to be part of this Newcastle Thunder setup in 2026, as it's now a Noah Whittingham on that left hand side. He'll play the ball, comes in the hands of Cody Hunter. and then Reynolds. Searching for his hat-trick is Harvey Reynolds, but it's the 5 and last. He's 10 metres out, in line with the left-hand side post. Rostan initially goes from dummy half, then finds Hunter, kick over the top. They'll be hoping that goes dead. It does go dead. Poor final play option from Cody Hunter on that occasion. We're into the final quarter, 19 and a half to go here at the recreation ground. Haven 6, Thunder 44.
Right idea, Jordan. Right idea. I think he's just tried to get that back-to-back sets and a drop out there, but just a poor execution, which we haven't seen. A lot of poor execution from these halfbacks and these certainly Pemberton and the halfbacks.
Ellison Holgate onto the field to replace Jake Pearce. Looks like Ellison Holgate's potentially going to be going in at loose forward. There's a Whitehaven player suffering with a bit of cramp out there. It's Connor Holiday. Whitehaven's 6th interchange of the afternoon. With HIAs, it's probably about 9th or 10th. But Ethan Bickerdike suffering a bit of cramp out there, and the amount of running backwards that Whitehaven's had to do in defence, David Sage, we'll probably see more of this in the final quarter.
Yeah, that's something that used to get to myself, Jordan, back in the day, but I know it gets to a lot of players. It's this heavy field and calves, a lot of cramp, certainly in the calves and the hamstrings. But let's just put it down to Conralder's age.
You said that, not me. Into the hands now of Williamson at dummy half, and then finds Mark Shackley. He'll be brought down 9 short of halfway. Williamson looks like he's going to be out there for the remaining of the contest. He'll have got some big minutes on his Whitehaven debut coming off the bench for Liam Williamson. Nixon plays the ball just over halfway. Hands now of Walker. He'll just pop it up to Brett Bailey, and Bailey's going to be put down, trying to turn around and find his front, and he's almost done that. Williamson comes left into the hands of Walker, then out the back to Cole Walker-Taylor, now finds Bickerdike then finds Mitchell Todd. Todd's then going to just have to find the ground because they were quite close to this touchline. It is the 5 and last, 25 metres away from the Thunder line, into the hands of Walker. Walker just looks to put the kick through the middle. He's hoping it holds up. With a soft pitch, he maybe needed that much power on it, but he's just misjudged it slightly there as Kieran Walker gone behind the dead ball line. 7 tackle set on a top 20.
Yeah, right idea, just execution, and I guess he's probably been doing that all week on this surface, practicing, and it's been holding up. So that today it just hasn't held up. It's gone that little bit further and give Newcastle three tackles in there on the halfway line.
Jacassi will play the ball 5 short off halfway. Rostan will be brought down on it eventually. Williamson and Bailey involved there. Lip goes left into the hands of Hunter, and Hunter will look to put the kick in. Dave Eccleston isn't back, so he's going to have some work to do here. Is the Whitehaven winger pinned within his own 10 metre line? Is Dave Eccleston. Walker-Taylor is going to have to screw from dummy half, surely. It's now going to be a penalty out of 6 again, man. He's come over the top of him. But into the hands of Cole Walker-Taylor.
But something so simple, John, just the vision to put it in that little corner there. Wing it up, full back on the other side, just to put it in. That's a great kick, and from Newcastle.
3rd tackle, Whitehaven still in around their own 10. Scoop from dummy half there from Kieran Walker, who's made 11-12 metres, so congratulations to him. Holgate's dived in at dummy half now, and then well done to Kieran Walker and then Ellison Holgate. They recognised that they were just getting a little bit of an advantage there. Walker on the front foot initially, then Holgate to dive in and go. There was no hesitation from Ellison Holgate. He recognised that the Newcastle side were going to be offside, and he's been given the penalty, and Whitehaven will start this on halfway. And
there's not many opportunities, Jordan, that we've came out of our own half, with that yardage sort of sets, and we've got a good quick play of the ball. We've beat the play of the ball at Newcastle. There's not many times we've got ahead, got some good quick play of the balls.
Mark Shackley's lost that as he's hit the deck. He's calling for the rip out. Is Mark Shackley staring over at referee Andy Sweet. So judge Andy Sweet, because see him so often in the middle normally to Andy Sweet, and it's going to be a scrum down, head and feed to the Thunder. Certainly not happy with that decision. Is Shackley.
And that good work by Walker and Ellison Holgate means nothing at this moment in time. Just something so simple.
Scrum down, head and feet to the Thunder. Just over 15 minutes to go here at the recreation ground, as Jacassi is the man forward. Hasn't got through a lot of work as Andy Jacassi, although he hasn't had to. this afternoon. He's been pushed back good few metres and then calling a penalty. Oh, then we're all in again. Newcastle don't have to do this. It's them that started it on that occasion. They don't have to get involved with this. They're 38 points up. And he's still trying to get amongst them. He's referee Denton Arnold, and he's the shortest in amongst them. Jacassi has to be pushed away by Taylor Pemberton. Brett Bailey's having a word with a few of them. Connor Holliday's just trying to calm the situation down. But I didn't see what sparked it. I was looking, just noting on the penalty on my notepad in front of me. But it is going to be just having a word with everyone there is Denton Arnold. And he's calling Taylor Pemberton out. Andy Jacassi's coming being called out as well. Well, the fact he's been the first called out from any sort of side here means, well, it's very rare you see a reversal these days, but he's the one that looked like he maybe started it.
How many times does nothing come from it, John? How many times is it just captains in, giving them a bit of a warning? I think it's a great excuse for a rest. If I'm brutally honest, I think it's something we should have invented a long time ago.
What, a bit of a rest?
A bit of well, things like that, just to push and shove each other for a minute and then get a minute's rest.
Well, the reason they all push and shove these days is because if they do throw a punch, it's a minimum of a 3-game ban. Right. And to be fair, we understand why the governing body have done so, but no one can throw a punch these days because you're going to be sitting down for the following 3 weeks. So it is still the Newcastle penalty. They've bombed it into touch through Pemberton. Couple of pairs of hands now back in the middle of the field, and they're going for it from player one. Hunter will find Lib. Lib will step back inside. It's 29 metres out from the Whitehaven line now. Rossan will scoot from dummy half. First time we've seen any real movement from him from dummy half in this second half. Into the hands now with Tyler Walton. Finds his front as Walton. 19 metres out. Rossan's in there at dummy half. Will go into the left into the hands of Reynolds. Reynolds trying to get up. Play the ball 10 metres out to the left hand side of the post. Goes left into the hands of Hunter with the double pump. Trying to find then Noah Whittingham. Looking for his second of the afternoon. Taken down 2 metres out. Looking to go down that left hand side once more, are they? Aidan McGowan. Poor. Thrown the dummy and gone over from dummy half. That's something Anthony Murray will not like at all as we just tick over into the 68th minute. Try coming in the final seconds of the 67th. Aidan McGowan on that left hand side from dummy half, and Jack Smith's now got an opportunity to put the 50-point mark on the board for the Thunder this afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough video watch, I think, if Anthony Murray decides to do it with them, but I think it needs it, to be honest. But it's going to be a tough watch for a lot of them players in there, and I think what you'll find is Jordan, that quite a lot of the tries we've just, as I say, I think Newcastle have just dominated that ruck. They've dominated in defence, but more importantly, they've dominated in attack. So they're sticking their heads through. They're getting good, quick play of the balls, and as I say, that extra second makes a big difference to organising defences. So, and that's something that Newcastle have done really well, and we've allowed Newcastle to do for the whole game. And I think you'll find a lot of them tries, they've just got that extra second that they play the ball. That's just a prime example there. He's just been tackled, he's bounced right up, and he's just threw a dummy and went 3-4 yards and scored a try. So it just doesn't give us enough time to organise that defence that's been really good to us.
Smith tags on the X's from out wide. 50 is up for the Newcastle Thunder. Whitehaven 6, Newcastle Thunder 50. Just under 11 and a half to go as we make it here at the recreation ground. Many were expecting a tough task this afternoon, David Seeds. I'm not too sure many would have been expecting the Thunder to rack up the 50 so easily as they have done at times as well.
No, and I said to you before it started, John, it's going to be really, really tough for us today because this is it's a new, regenerated, new look Thunder side, but they've done the basics very, very well today.
You're 44 points down. Why do you feel the need to go short?
I would go short, to be honest.
Fair dues. No, that's why I'm asking the question.
Always.
Asking the question. But
yeah, don't want to put the white flag up. Don't want to try and cause a mistake because let's be honest, Newcastle aren't making a lot of mistakes at the minute coming out in yardage. So, let's have a 50-50 challenge. But we're not even there for the 50-50 challenge either.
It was too deep to get there for the 50-50 challenge, unfortunately.
So if you're going to do a short kick-off, then practice it, and get it better than that. What that was.
Looks like Ben Pearce has failed his HIA. Well, the number 7 interchange has gone out, but no one's gone out in chocolate blue and gold. So it looks like Ben Pearce has failed his HIA. Week off next week, so if he's able to recover sufficiently, should be available for selection ahead of the game 2 weeks' time, which is Barrow here at the recreation grounds. However, only being 18, I'm not too sure if it's a little bit different. I might have to get that one checked out. I'm sure it is. The header there from Whitehaven. Kieran Walker just fumbled in at dummy half.
I thought he got stuck in the mud there. He sort of took his eye off and he just got stuck in the mud there, I think. But still, if we're on top of our game, we pick them up quite easily and we shift that quite easily. So it's just a sign of not being on top of our game individually and collectively. So that's where we're at this moment in time.
Clock stopped. What we've got to remember, and I don't think this has been well publicised, but it's well known, these are full-time this year. They are full-time, they are training with York, they are based at York. I'd say majority of these players are full-time players out there, and I think with the training, it looks like, I think you can tell the difference out there this afternoon. But Newcastle back on the front foot. Leo Tennyson gets the offload away to the hands of Rostan, finds Walton. Reynolds looks to sidestep, gets the ball away to Rostan, puts the kick in behind. Should have took it himself, Rostan. If he took it himself, he was over.
Yeah, just a bit of a brain explosion there. No need to do that, just get him on the next one.
And they would have got Whitehaven on the next one. Ellison Hall gets the man to fetch it forward. Got his arm round the sort of head area of Ellison Holgate there. And then we've got him once again. Kellett was in there. And we've got another meeting of the minds. And this is what happens when the referees don't deal with it, David Seeds. So just have a word with the captain. This continues to boil over. And that's why most of them are in there at the minute. Jack Kellett having a good conversation with Cody Hunter.
Well, at least Jack ended up on the top there, which was good.
Final interchange sees Mark Shatley withdrawn to be replaced by Brad Brennan. In the midst of all that, 8 minutes to go as we make it. Shout of well done, ref, to my right hand side, but he hasn't conceded 9 tries this afternoon, has he? Don't get me wrong, I even agree with 1 or 2 decisions, but he hasn't had to make that many decisions where you'd feel maybe too controversial. But he's having a conversation with his touch judge Andy Sweet on that far side. He's Denton Arnold.
Yeah, but going back to your point, John, I didn't know that. I didn't know that these are going to be a full-time team this year, and if not most of them. I do know that there's a lot of ex-Super League players out there, and it's an amalgamation of some good quality there.
Oh, when it rains, it pours. Jack Kellett's been penalised for something that he's let go the previous 3 occasions. And I suppose he might have said on that last one, Denton Arnold, we're not privy to them conversations, but he might have said the next one to start it, I'm going to penalise. Jack Kellett was the one to start it, and penalty for the Thunder. But coach killers, to be fair, Seeds, the absolute coach killers. You're 44 points down, you've got ball, and you give away a penalty in possession.
To be honest, John, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant at this stage of the game. It's just another set of 6 for Whitehaven to defend, unfortunately. And good field position.
7.5 to go as we make it. Into the hands now of Harvey Reynolds. Continues to keep his legs pumping, does Reynolds. The loose forward, searching for his hat-trick, is Harvey Reynolds. He'll play the ball. Come right, into the hands of Hunter. Now finds Pemberton. There's numbers on this side. Lip will then find Jack Smith. Being brought down as Jack Smith. Lip's looking to come down this short side as he is not. He'll find Leo Tennyson instead. Tennyson brought down just short of the line. 5 and last. Rostan comes right into the hands of Pemberton. Pemberton with the kick in behind. It's going to be too deep. And it's come off the Whitehaven man. I don't think Pemberton realised that, because he turned around to get ready in defence. He'd come off a Whitehaven man, played by a Whitehaven man, says referee Denton Arnold. There's not many out there that was expecting that decision to come. Goal line drop out forced by the Thunder.
And that's been a positive for Whitehaven in the last 10 minutes. You know, the amount of time they've been on that try line, they've defended, and it's caused Newcastle to put that little kick in, whereas, you know, in the first half, they didn't need that kick. They were scoring either in the middle stand on the right-hand side. They were scoring when they were going wide. So, you know, it's a little positive that we could take away for Whitehaven, but only a little.
Tennyson, the man to be brought down. 30 metres out. Rostang in there at dummy half. Into the hands now of Harvey Reynolds. And he'll look to try and escape the clutches of the Whitehaven defence, but there was 3 involved there. Bailey, Williamson, and the last man off will be Brad Brennan. Comes right now into the hands of Pemberton, takes it to the line with a double pump, then finds Foster, but going to be taken down. Holgate's going to be the first man off. The last man off will be Kieran Walker. Goes left now into the hands of Pemberton. Back in the centre field with Harvey Reynolds. Reynolds trying to get his arm free there, searching for the offload, but taken down. In line with the left-hand side post. 3-4 metres out. Will come right into the hands now of Pemberton. Pemberton looks to go himself. Just brought down short is Pemberton. It is the 5 and last. Comes right into the hands then of Hunter. Finds Rostan. Like looking for the kick over the top. Maybe looking. I think he was searching for the post there. I think he was searching for the post and hoping to see what come from it, but it's missed the post. Joe Lowe's collected, and it'll be a tap 20 set. Whitehaven not allowed to take it fast because Joe Lowe passed the ball to Conor Holliday. Got to be a controlled restart. That restart takes place now.
But again, another positive for Whitehaven. Their good defensive set on their line, forcing them to kick and managing to solve that kick out. Just a nice easy kick there. I think was it Williamson?
Williamson.
No, was it?
It was Joe Lowe that collected
Joe Lowe.
Williamson that brought Nixon that brought the ball up there. Brennan finds his front, can't put him onto the ground. Williamson goes right into the hands then of Joe Lowe. Lowe's going to try and go over halfway there, and he's done so, has Joe Lowe. 5-6 metres over halfway. Joe Lowe calling for the 6 again. He doesn't get anything. Into the hands now of Ellis Nixon. Into the 40 metres away from the Thunder line. Walker Taylor in there at dummy half, dummied left, then went himself then to put the kick in behind. It will hold up, but there's no one there in chocolate blue and gold, too much on the chase. Kellett was the man leading it. He's got there and brought down Brad Ward 10 metres away from his own line. Just over 4 minutes to go as we make it. Now looking to go down that left hand side with Jordan Lipp. Lipp's then one-on-one with Cole Walker Taylor. He's done well there as Walker Taylor to slow it down, but he's got the offload away as Jordan Lipp. And now Aidan McGowan's going through the centre of the field. Even Biggerdyke's going to try and get back. Can he get there? Can even Biggerdyke on against McGowan? He's just going to outpace him, is Aidan McGowan. He's forced him to put the ball down on the left hand side, and all the applause there has to go to Ethan Biggerdyke for coming back, but even more of applause has to go for Aidan McGowan, taking full advantage of Whitehaven's defence. He's been there at 6s and 7s, and it is their 10th try of the afternoon for the Newcastle Thunder. Aidan McGowan on that left hand side after breaking down the middle of the field, initially following the break from Jordan Lipp. 3.5 minutes to go as we make it. It is now Haven 6, Thunder 54.
Yeah, as that defence sums up sort of Whitehaven's 80 minutes, John, I think that that little break there from Newcastle in the hands and the passing sums up their day as well. They've gone 18, 19 metres there in conditions like this. No pressure on Newcastle, can afford to do that, but Whitehaven unable to stop them, to stop any of it really. A good chase by Biggerdyke, but too much pace for was it Pemberton? McGowan, sorry.
Yeah. So Jack Smith will be the man to attempt to line the conversion up. 22, 23 metres on the straight, but there's plenty of angle involved from this one as Jack Smith for 3 from 3 so far in this second half. 7 from 9 altogether is the Newcastle Thunder centre. 2.5 to go as we make it. 2.5 says the fourth official down in front of us as well. So Jack Smith takes his time, comes through his preparation, comes forward, strikes it, comes off the far right hand side post and falls short, and that is we're into pretty much the final 2 minutes. Referee Jack Smith has stopped the time, which means we're within the 2 minutes. It is Haven 6, Newcastle Thunder 54. And I think pretty much grandstand's pretty much emptied around us. There's not many hearty souls left staying to the end. Few on the popular side, few in the Kells end as well. Kick-off comes from Cole Walker-Taylor. Looks to knock it down the field this time. Into the hands then of Andy Giacchesi. The old Fletchick forward will. Giacchesi, former Castleford Tiger. 22 metres away from his own line. 10 in from this near side touchline as Jack Smith sends the man to scoot from dummy half. He's made 7 or 8 metres, going to play this. Oh, I didn't see anything there. Kieran Walker. Time off. I didn't see what happened there, but he's rolling around on the field. He's Kieran Walker. It's not Kieran Walker. Kieran Walker's there. So who is it? Holgate? Williamson? No, it's not Williamson. Holgate. Ellison Holgate. Well, you don't keep Ellison Holgate down lightly. Saying that last season.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it was any contact there, Jordan, or he's just, pulled something. I don't really know.
He's got up and got the thumbs up from the Whitehaven physio. So he's okay to continue. He's Ellison Holgate. Yeah, didn't see anything that one at all. What was going on? 95 seconds left as we make it. Goes left. Continue to fetch the ball forward through Foster. Foster's going to be brought down a metre short of his own 40. Ross standing there at dummy half. Goes left into the hands of Pemberton. Out the back. Hunter looking to get the ball over the top. Finds Brad Ward on that far left hand side. And the defence had come in, but they've been able to recover sufficiently. But only after Brad Ward had made 20-25 metres, but he's lost 3 or 4 of them there being pushed back. Comes right now into the hands of Hunter. Hunter's looking for the chip over the top with Jordan Lip there, and Brad Brennan is the person that's going to dive on it. Done well there to recover, did Brad Brennan. Fetching it forward now is Mitchell Todd, and Todd brought down 4 metres away from his own line. Walker Taylor in there at dummy half. Dave Eccleston looking to fetch that ball forward. He's brought down 30 away now from his own line. Kieran Williamson's in there at dummy half. There is the hoot there a little bit earlier than we were expecting here at the recreation ground. Full time. Whitehaven 6, Newcastle Thunder 54.